Hi everyone, hope you are doing well from wherever you are watching this channel, depending on your time zone. Now, President Ruto constituted a presidential working party on education reforms in this country. And this working party has been outside here collecting what we refer to as the views from Kenyans as far as the issue of education in this country is concerned. That means they have been conducting public participation, something I really doubt, because with the kind of report they have come out with, there's no way that they were having a public participation. They were literally just getting to a corner with some few individuals, then make their own decision. Because the proposal they have come with, which is actually touching on university students, it is not a positive thing to embrace in this country. Because they are now increasing the fees in university. They have multiplied by 4. Because their proposal is that they're proposing to the president to increase the fees paid by government-sponsored students in a Kenyan university from 15,000 Kenyan shillings to 52,000 Kenyan shillings per semester. Look at that. Now, I thought in my view that Kenya is a growing nation, and because of that we have to develop going forward, but not backward. The truth is that in future, for a growing country, they have to take care of the interest of the young children in the same country by making education available and free. That is what the grown countries have done. The developing countries, that's what they are focusing on. But this report is an insult to education. It's an insult to so many people in this country. And the question we are asking on this Punchline today, in case Ruto is going to implement this, because sometimes back Machogu talked about the issue of increasing school fees in a university and even in high school. But Jubilee Party UDA Party came out and rubbished it very quickly. Machogu went silent on that issue. But now it has resurfaced. That means this was idea of William Samoei Ruto that he gave this task force. Before they go and meet people, they had already been given a predetermined position. So whatever they were doing was all about PR. The question is, where is the space for the hustlers in this country? Those people Ruto referred to as hustlers, where is their space? Is Ruto working for the people he referred to as hustlers, or is he here to serve the interest of those who are rich? Because he drew the line between the rich and the poor. The people he referred to as dynasty and the Mamamboga. Before we continue with our analysis, just a quick request. For those who are watching and you are not subscribed, please consider subscribing. And to our channel subscribers, I must say thank you so much. And again, to all our viewers, please give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much. And back to this discussion. Now, I don't know your views as far as the issue of education is concerned in this country. What I understand is that education was the only equalizer between the poor, the middle class, and the rich. Such that when children get to school, they score the marks that put them where they belong. You can be poor, but if you are good, you perform well, you can go through learning institution and you come out a professional person, maybe a doctor or an engineer or someone serving in a capacity that you have managed to achieve. That was the only way to move some families from poverty line into a middle class or the other side. As simple as that. But seemingly, with the way this government is taking, the direction they are taking now, it is only meant to serve the interests of those people who can afford education in terms of payment. Because if you check now, the rich can afford school fees. When you talk about university, they can pay. Middle class, to some extent, they will struggle, but they will manage to pay. The question is, what about the Mama Mboga child who has scored well in their secondary school education, in their KCSE? What about the border guy's child, the hustler? It means these are the people who are going to have it rough when it comes to university education. Someone gets to primary school, secondary school, they don't have even enough school fees. They go through maybe through sponsors here and there. Then they manage to get a good grade, direct into university. Then you go and meet 52,000 per semester from 16, of which you can do harambe here and there and manage. Because najua watu wengi kwa hiyo vijiji, watoto wa mayatima na maskini wamekuwa wakifanyiwa harambe hata ndio walipe hii 16,000. So they raise it to 52 per semester. Where will you get this money if you cannot afford a high school fees? And you know, Ruto has been telling us that he understands the meaning of walking barefoot to school because he's a living example of that kind of a kid. The question is, what happened when he became the president? Because all these things seemingly they look like they were predetermined by the president, and they just give this tax for this report to talk to the people so that to make just a PR, to rubber stamp what already they have decided on. Maskini aendelee kuwa maskini, lakini tajiri atatumikiwa vile inafaa. That is what Ruto is doing here, as simple as that. We have, you know, and I will use an example of one school in my village. It's called Lusengeli Secondary School. This school is performing very well. And they can manage to get about maybe 10 to 20 S, something like 30 to 20 to 30 there, B+. Then you have a lot of C's there. It's a day school. But you know what? We have other schools within that area. Boarding schools, those we can, if you want to call it national school or, you know, county or, is it what? ISO, those levels. Hii ingine iko hapa chini. But parents and the community around, they decided that they will not allow to upgrade that school into either boarding school. Because of one reason. If they do that, you give chance to other children from other areas to come and study there. But for them, it was that this school was to take care of the interest of the poor people who cannot afford that boarding school and when you put it that level of national or is it district, not district, county schools. They cannot afford it. So they say that it should remain in that status. They upgrade it with the proper learning materials and the infrastructure is good. But they have said it should remain a day school. Isaidia mtoto ya maskini because it is performing well. Up to now, that's the standard there. So that's where, in some areas, poor children normally go to learn. Because you are sure at least you will achieve something. Then after that, unaenda huko mbele unapata na school fees ya 52,000 per semester. After going through this, then you achieve your A or your B+. What next? So it means many people in our society are going to remain uneducated. They will miss their chances to further their education. I mean, even countries like Sri Lanka, where they are, where they have a lot of debts with China, they are now auctioning their port. Education is free. You go to these Gulf countries, be it UAE, Dubai, Ikwe, Qatar, ama wapi, education is free. So we thought Kenya, because it is a developing country, Kibaki brought these things to do with the free education. I was thinking the Presidential Working Party on education is going to suggest that university should be totally free. secondary school education should be free in day schools and then subsidized in boarding schools. What are we getting? So it is just one thing. Ruto used the poor people to clinch to power. He campaigned in the name of hustler, in the name of Mamboga, in the name of Boda, in the name of orphans, in the name of widows. He did not have any intention to help the poor people. His own end game goal was to impoverish the poor, so that maskini aendelee kuwa maskini. It is written in capital letters on the wall, beyond any reasonable doubt. Now the pain is here. And by the way, university students must come out to demonstrate in one faith, so that they protect the poor who cannot afford to bear this kind of school fees. Imagine they were multiplied by 4. Hata hawakuamua waeke 30, waliamua 52. They just took the number 16 times 4, wakaeka 52. So that's where we are. Raila was calling for free education in this country, from Chekechea to tertiary. I remember him saying that. I wish he got a chance so that we also try him to see what he can do. But now we have tested William Samoei Ruto and it is evidently clear. Huyu ni rais wa kutumikia matajiri lakini sio maskini. Kampeni ya maskini ilikuwa yakuja kwa uongozi, lakini hakuna mpango mzima wa kusaidia mtu maskini in this country. As simple as that. And the people must come out and say no to William Samoei Ruto. This report must be trashed.